So you had your experience yesterday traveling around in a bubble, and we've been setting intentions for a while. And when I think about the people that I know are here right now, and I know some who are watching the replay, it occurs to me there's not a single person here who hasn't worked with intention before. Am I right? This is not your first intention rodeo. So you're turning to it now at this time of crisis as one of your tools to help you get through it. And it's a very powerful tool. Yes, I see. It's a very powerful tool, and I'm doing the same thing. And there are days I struggle with it. Last week on Monday, so over a week ago, I'll make this a short story because it's kind of long. I was very frustrated at the end of the day when my day got away from me. And I was so tired, I could hardly eat dinner. And mad at myself for letting that happen. And clearly set my intentions the next day, set my boundaries to prevent that. And damn if it didn't happen again. And again. And pretty much all week, my days went like that. So, when intention doesn't work, it actually is working. And that's how we're going to look at it. When we engage in a relationship with intention, let's use the roadmap analogy. When we set our destination in ways, first off, yay for us. Because most people aren't even doing that. To decide how you want to show up, what you want to experience on a daily basis, and in the midst of this crisis, to double down on that in yourself, yay. Okay, so already the act of programming a destination is powerful. Because you know where you want to go, you know what you want to experience at some level. So you're ahead of the curve by far. So then when we do that in Waze, sometimes Waze says, yeah, to get from here to here, you're going to go all the way over here. And we go, no, I know the direct way. Waze, what do you know? And when we start betting against Waze, when we start going our own way, despite the information that's coming in, we hit roadblocks, we hit traffic jams, we hit things that hold us up. Well, that's what intention is doing. And it's beautiful and it's a gift. And because you were willing to do the work of looking inside and claiming what you want to experience, the universe, the source, God, is giving you the information you need to get there. We don't always like it. At least I don't. So I've made a list of things that may be being revealed when intention doesn't work. Doesn't work, because it is always working. It's showing you something. So when intention doesn't work, maybe it's trying to show you where your needs are not being met. So it's that Maslow's pyramid, hierarchy of needs. It always goes down. So the lower needs, the base needs of food, survival, are always at the bottom. A little higher, we have full human actualization at the very top. We cannot achieve that if we don't have food and safety, and we don't have relationships, and we don't have all of the things that are in between. So if our needs aren't being met, we cannot will that. And if it takes 30 days of you need to sleep more, you're not going to change that. That is still your need. So intention is showing you where your needs aren't being met. So look downward on the hierarchy of needs. Intention, if it doesn't seem to work, may be showing you where you have a lack of alignment. So where you are holding up an ideal that's really outside of yourself about who you want to be and what you want to experience instead of coming from inside. it may be showing you where you haven't stepped into your energy, where you haven't owned what your truth is. And I think that's what my example was showing me. I'll get to that. But that day after day of not being able to leave work with a clear stopping point that nourished me, I think that was the information coming to me. But I'll come back to that. Another thing intention might be trying to show you when it's not working, hi Cherise, is, good morning, is where you are willing things. So in that, using that Waze example, if you want to go here and you're here and Waze tells you to take the long way and you will yourself the short way, it won't work. Will not overcome it. So depending on your level of willfulness, your intention may be holding that up for you to see. Honey, you can't will this. All right? Maybe it's showing you when your intention doesn't work. Maybe it's showing you when you're too much in your head. Because intention is not a thought process. Even though we use words, which are a function of language, a higher function of the brain, intention is a vibration. Intention is an energy. Intention comes from the heart. It comes from the lower chakras. Intention is not a mental process. So if you're making it too mental, back off, get in touch with your truth. And the last thing I wrote down that intention might be showing you is that you essentially and fundamentally, you may not be living your truth. So in times of crisis, when the pressure is on us, our truth condenses. It boils down. It thickens. And becomes less flexible. So at this time of crisis, your truth will not be denied. So if your intention is not working, there may be some truth that you're going to have to deal with. You're going to have to grieve. So returning to my story of 5 days, of each day setting my intention that I was going to leave work with time to restore, to exercise, to ground, to take care of myself. And for 5 days, that not happening, and in fact the opposite happening, I was pretty humbled. I was pretty frustrated, and I had to check in with myself. And I was willing things. That is my nature. I just become very willful and controlling. I want everything to be a certain way. And so the effort there, and maybe for many of you, is release. So it's always downward. The energy is always downward on the chakras. It's to the root chakra. It's returning to our grounding, returning to our centering, returning to earth. It's letting go. So letting go of the willfulness. And imagine with the letting go, and here we are with the beginning of the waxing or the waning of the moon. The letting go process is gravity will get it and take it to the earth where it will be energetically used for compost. So letting go of ego, letting go of control is also a downward motion. It's always, for me, when intention isn't working, it's a dropping down. And so that was last week. This week I set my intention and I blocked my calendar to be done with work at 3 o'clock every day, to allow myself time to process with the intention of exercising. So yesterday was the first day of that. I did get done with work. I actually left my workspace at 4. I did not exercise. I sat out back in the sun and listened to a spiritual video. That was me needing. Exercise is higher on the hierarchy of needs. And I may not be able to do that until I've settled my basic self-care needs. So I share that example to see if maybe there's something for you in it. That might apply to why intention isn't working for you. So all of this points to the energetics of intention, and we've talked about it before, of being a vibration. So instead of willing, the opposite of willing is allowing. So the real work of intention is the work an individual can do, a work that I can do, the work that you can do, is to align with your truth over and over. It's just an internal discovering of what your truth is and aligning with what your truth is. Look at that. Dawn went for a walk, a much needed solo walk. Yes. Excellent inner wisdom there. Aligning with your truth over and over, whether you like it or not. Because what I would like to do is control the situation. What I would like to do is to keep my 91-year-old dad from going to the store. I cannot control him. And all of my efforts are not going to change that. So letting that go, returning to my own internal truth, grieving where necessary, experiencing the sadness where necessary, so that I can also experience the joy and the wholeness. Over and over, aligning with that truth, allowing that to rise, and then allowing myself to be in the vibration that is there. So it's aligning, that's the work, aligning and allowing. So intention is more of a claiming than creating. We talk about creating abundance, we talk about law of attraction, but it's claiming. The energy of intention is a claiming more than it is creating. And it is also, the energy is a stepping into. We're stepping into a truth that's already there. And once we do that, it raises us. It's a rising. So that's where we want to be. So in our bubble that we established yesterday, the establishment of boundaries around our little egg, around our little bubble, so that we're experiencing inside and we're returning inside that bubble constantly. That's where the energy is. It's not outside of us. And at a time of crisis, it might be an uncomfortable place to be, which explains why we try to reach outside of it so often. So bless you for the courage to do this work, for having the intention of being here and intention at this time. So when it feels like intention isn't working, that's actually when it's working the most. So be with it, be patient, be gentle, be easy. If intention is hard, dial it back. Drop down. Seek ease in your intention. So, I did choose some intentions for you today from Intentionology. Before I do that, though, let's take a minute and drop into that space, because I've been talking a while, and I don't want us to be in our heads. Hi, Linda. So glad you could join us. So let's go ahead and settle back in your chair. Let's drop out of our heads. You can drop, instead of dropping all the way down to the root chakra, just drop out of your head, because we've been in our heads for a while, and just kind of drop into your heart right now. What are you feeling? If you feel like putting some words in the chat box so that we'll all share the feeling, that would be energetically helpful. So what are you feeling in your heart? When you drop into that space, what's the truth there? What does the full moon illuminate in your heart right now? try to send uplifting food for thought once a day to inspire others. Charisse, that energetically is very supportive. Thank you. What's in your heart? Accept the things I cannot control. Live my dash. I'm feeling a little bit of the grief that comes with acceptance. That's what I'm finding. I think that's progress for me. So capture these words, calm in the midst of the storm. Capture the words on your paper. What are you finding in your heart? What's your truth there? Let's go ahead and drop down more into our root chakra, into our grounding, into our connection with Earth. What do you need? Capture some words on your paper. What do you need today to settle into the new home? You're supported in that. What do you need? And what do you want? It's okay to want. It's okay to feel the desire. It's sort of like your light. It's telling you where to head. Put yourself inside that bubble that we were in yesterday. Form a luminous, opalescent egg or bubble around you, where everything else is outside, the chaos, the craziness of this time, the sadness, other people's interpretation of events, all of that is outside of your bubble, outside of your boundaries. What do you want to experience inside your bubble as you go through your day to day? Write down some keywords there. This is yours to claim, to align with all day in your bubble. So now I'm going to read you some intentions I've chosen from intentionology that have to do with when it feels like intention isn't working. So I'm going to read those to you. Hi, Gloria. Settle in, capture words that have meaning to you, and as always, I'll back out of the room and quietly leave you to finish writing intentions for the day. As you're doing this, remember to look for ease. Intention comes easy. If we're willing intention, we're fighting it. Yeah. So we want to set our intentions inside our bubble. Oh, Charisse. So go to where, Charisse, go to where you own your feelings about those events. All you can control is you. All you can experience is you. So bring your intention into aligning with the sadness and the frustration you may feel about witnessing these things in the people you love, and be with that. So here's the first I'm going to read to you. I need guidance. I put my questions to the universe and watch, curious and open for answers. Another one. I release the struggle. I release the struggle. That's good in itself. I release the struggle In this moment, all is as it should be. This next one shows you how intention can actually be a question that leaves you open for an answer. So here it is. In this moment, what is asking for acceptance? Remember, remember, remember. I am not alone. Guidance is always available. My needs are provided for. In each moment, all is good. Try to remember this today. Today, I get clearer on the truths I'd rather avoid. I see and embrace them too. Yes, well, life happens. Living with intention is making the most of our reality, not ignoring it. C'est la vie. Surrender to the ease. There's a lot of surrender in the world events right now. A lot of the spiritual work is just letting go of our wish that it were different and having faith that it is exactly as it should be, and then looking within to align with how we can show up at this time. You can trust that you're here for a purpose. We're going to talk about that in later sessions of this. I've got one final intention. It's a long one, so I will take a snap and post it for you as well. And then I'll back out of the room and leave you to write your intentions for today. So the last one is, I am never alone. When events challenge me, I see how much I can let go of. Possessions, commitments, relationships, beliefs, expectations, etc. I seek stillness so I can hear what the universe is trying to tell me. And then I heed it, no matter how difficult, because life has taught me to trust the voice that comes from that still, quiet space inside. Be intentional, my friends.